Hello everyone, today we are here to discuss very important topic from the GS4, that is ethics paper of UPSC CSE mains. The topic we are going to learn today is the foundational values for civil services. Now ethics is all about these values. For civil services, one needs to have certain basic fundamental set of values or morality that one needs to apply while working as a civil servant. What are values? These are the set of standards on the basis of which we judge something to be right or wrong. Values help us understand what is wrong and what is right, how much importance is to be given to a particular thing, a particular aspect of our work, and values are something that guide us in using the tremendous powers we have, not just as an officer but also as an individual or a person. For example, female feticide is wrong on the basis of which values? The values of gender equality, liberty, etc. Why do we need values in civil services? Now, civil servants are in a position where they enjoy wide-ranging powers to influence the lives of many. Being a democracy, India rests all its power in public, and civil servants are the people who are working for that public. That is, civil servants are accountable and responsible towards that public. To prevent any misuse of power and to use it for greater good of public, values work as guidelines to gain trust, confidence, and represent the government effectively. So, civil servants play a bridge between the government and the people, and that is why they need to have strong foundational values. Values in civil services are interrelated, they are not explicit. They play a major role in discretionary areas of the civil servant because government has not made rules for each and everything. It is on the discretion and the value system of a civil servant how to use his powers, what to do in what situation or what place, and to also uphold the constitution, laws and rules. Now let us see the types of these values. The first is end oriented, that is related to achieving some goals. Which are those goals? The fundamental rights, DPSPs through which our government runs, and also means oriented, that is the way in which one performs their duties. Now let us see which are these major foundational values in civil services. In India, the current set of ethical norms are the conduct rules in the Central Services Conduct Rules 1964. But these conduct rules don't include code of ethics. Then the draft Public Service Bill 2007 was made, under which these values were initiated. That is patriotism and upholding national interest. Second being allegiance to the constitution and law of the nation. Third, objectivity, impartiality, honesty, diligence, courtesy and transparency. And the fourth and most important one is integrity. Then other implicit and explicit sources are also there which mention many values. We have a committee called Nolan Committee which had given some very basic values that are SAHILO, SAHILOO, that is selflessness, accountability, honesty, integrity, leadership, objectivity and openness. If you know this acronym, then you can easily recall these values and write in your paper. Then the second ARC report on ethics in governance, it has suggested for comprehensive civil services code on 3 levels. The apex is values and ethical standards. Second being the behavior and code of ethics. Third, code of conduct, how one behaves. It is a list of acceptable and unacceptable behavior and actions. The recommendation was values and code of ethics should be given a statutory backing. That is, government should make some laws under which these values are protected and civil servants are bound to follow these values. Now let us move towards the foundation values one by one, learn what are those values and how they work in civil services. The first and very most important is the integrity. What is integrity? Let us break down this word. Integrity is related to integration. Integration of what? Integration of our thought, that is mind, speech and action. Integration of head, heart and hand. Important components are truthfulness or accuracy, consistency and honesty. Integration or integrity is the midpoint of these 3 values. That is walk the talk theory. Quality of being honest and having strong moral principle that one refuses to change. That is, we have to do what we have told the people that we will do and not having any conflict of interest while doing our duty, not changing our views and morals according to circumstances. And integrity actually doesn't mean inflexibility. It is just having some strong basic principles, that is actions, words and thoughts, consistency. But all this should be morally right. no effect of temptation or fear, respond only to our own conscience and our voice of instinct. Then it is a 3-step process. Choosing the right course. We should know which path is right, which path is wrong. Then acting consistently with it and openly declaring where one stands. Once a person openly declares what are his viewpoints or suggestions about something, then it is very difficult to back off, and one can follow what he has said very effectively. For example, a civil servant not falling into prey of bribes and not getting afraid of any threat for doing an illegal task. That is, if a person is very strong in his head that he is not going to take bribes, he professes that publicly and also follows it in their own behavior, then it is called integrity. A very famous thinker, Harry Frankfurt, said that human desires are in hierarchy. One who balances them is called integrated, that is having strong integrity. Those having conflict of desires aren't. If one has a desire to be a good civil servant and also a desire to be a very rich person, these two cannot go together, and one who has a strong integrity chooses to be a good civil servant and adjusting with his needs. The 3 types of integrity are moral integrity, that is honesty and consistency in the standards used in judging. Professional integrity, that is upholding the code of ethics, standards, norms and values of the respective profession consistently and willingly. The third is intellectual integrity, that is opposition to intellectual hypocrisy. Integrity of intellect means of anyone who thinks and acts in the same line of manner. How to inculcate integrity? By model learning, posting under an honest officer, reward and punishment, sensitivity training through role playing, and code of ethics and code of conduct. Some examples of people with very strong integrity are Gandhiji, Tilak, Yusufzai, Malala. These all are people with very strong integrity and hence have had a very strong impact on the public. Let us come towards the second quality, that is impartiality and non-partisanship. Now, what is the difference between impartiality and non-partisanship? Impartiality is the behavior of a person, impartial behavior, and non-partisanship is the attitude of a person. Impartiality is fair-mindedness, taking decisions, opinions, positions and actions based on rationality and objective standards. That is not being biased towards a particular group. No basis of bias, prejudice, preference or advantage to someone. Whereas non-partisanship is neutrality of a person, political neutrality. That is, a civil servant works with same enthusiasm under 2 different governments or 2 different seniors. That is called non-partisanship. Now, impartiality is a broader term. Non-partisanship is a narrower one. Impartiality is officers' relation with entire ecology, that is all stakeholders. Non-partisanship is between 2 stakeholders and the civil servant has to be neutral among them. The significance of these 2 values is that it brings credibility and trust in public with respect to public service, makes civil servant gusty, that is capable to do the right things, ensures moral effectiveness and efficiency. Postings and transfers will be on merit basis, evidence-based advice to ministers, and also competent execution of lawfully made decisions. Then how it is ensured? Through the Central Civil Services Conduct Rule 1964, All India Services Conduct Rules 1968. These are the guidelines to civil services to perform duty with full devotion and not involve dilatory tactics with public dealing. Even ARC has recommended code of ethics for ministers too. The next important value is anonymity. That is facelessness of civil servant. Now, civil services is called the 4th lion of the Ashok Chakra. That is one which cannot be seen but has an equally important role after the legislative, executive and judiciary. Civil servants should maintain anonymity, that is not take credit of anything that government does or not take blame of anything that government does. The ministers represent their departments and take responsibility of success or failure, and civil servants have to work behind the scenes. Then why is it so? Why is such an important person not given the credit of his work? That is, first is to perform fearlessly, consistent with parliamentary form of government where ministers are responsible. It ensures discipline, decorum and moral of the services. How is it ensured? Through the Civil Services Conduct Code. Not divulging information when not legally necessary. Take permission from government before appearing himself in any TV show, newspaper or radio. Not accept any honor without government's permission and not file defamation suit without the government's permission. The next value is objectivity. Objectivity means being guided by facts, not by personal emotions, feelings, opinions, values and experiences. Evaluating a situation fairly on the basis of evidence, because subjectivity hinders impartiality and justice. If one is a civil servant, then he has to see both men and women, upper caste, lower caste, people from two regions, religions, all equally, and take decision based on facts and proofs. That is called objectivity. Why is it important? Now civil servants have very high power. These powers are not discretionary. Those are given by the government for the service of the civil servants. That is, we have to serve the people. That is why according to rules and law for public good we have to function. Therefore he or she needs to be rational in decision making. Rationality comes from facts, not biases. Biases can blind our view and hinder in fair decision making. Then how do we achieve objectivity? Through transparency. If the decisions are made public, civil servants will be accountable about the facts used. For example, the Right to Information Act. Now whenever a civil servant does anything, he knows that he has to be accountable to the people, he has to be transparent, and he has to work on the facts available. The second is information management system. Recorded information provides necessary fact. For example, though a person commits a crime openly, he isn't punished unless evidence and witnesses are present against him. That is the importance of proofs and evidences and facts. The next is empathy. Empathy, sympathy and compassion. Sympathy is to understand what people are going through. Empathy is feeling what people are, being in their shoes and feeling ourselves what they might be going through. And compassion has a component of action, that is feeling sympathy for them, feeling empathy and doing something for the betterment of people. That is called compassion, and these values are very important when you have to work in a diverse field like civil services. Then the next value is tolerance, allowing people to exercise their rights, religious, constitutional, moral or any other. Tolerance is the midpoint of prohibition and acceptance. For example, a vegetarian strongly convinced of never eating meat. Okay, that is prohibition. But he won't have a problem with others doing so. I don't want to eat meat, that is my issue. Tolerance is allowing other people to eat meat, not prohibiting them. That is called tolerance. And tolerance is a very important aspect for a civil servant. He has to work among people from different backgrounds, and if he is tolerant enough for their opinions, views or ways of life, then it becomes very easy to administer. It is showing respect for gender, race, opinion, religion and ideologies of others. Express one's point of view in a decent and respectful manner. The next important value is dedication to public service. Let us see a quote by T.N. Session, the former Election Commissioner of India. He said, "It was not that I introduced a new reform in the system. In fact, I didn't even add one comma, semicolon or a full stop to the act. Whatever was said in the act, I implemented." That is, he is known for being a revolutionary civil servant, but he says that he didn't do anything new. He just did what was there already in the law. That is, if a civil servant is very enthusiastic and dedicated to serve the people, he can make good use of the laws that are already there. Dedication is applying one's time, attention or self entirely to a particular activity, person or cause. That is commitment with passion. What is commitment? Formal obligation. One has to do it because it's their duty. What is dedication? It is the passion one has for the sense of duty inspired by some ideals. One is devoted to the task even in the absence of a formal commitment or external award. That is, even if there is no one to see if I am coming on time to office or not, still I come on time. That is called dedication. So here we come to the end of this session on ethics, and hope you have had a very good learning. Thank you.